Once again, my friends, we are separating the good public speaking advice from the bad, vague, and confusing public speaking advice. Today's public speaking advice comes from Amy Cuddy. You may know Amy Cuddy from her super popular TED Talks that have been viewed over 80 million times between the TED website as well as YouTube. But just because you are a popular public speaker does not mean that you give good public speaking advice. Amy Cuddy's advice comes from a video she did for Amazon on YouTube. I'll link it in the description below if you want to see it in its entirety. Let's look at the first tip.
If you have that moment where your heart starts racing, your mouth is going dry, your face is getting red, pause and collect your thoughts. That's okay.
This tip I give 5 out of 5 stars. When you are on stage, it is okay to pause. A lot of people hate pausing when they're on stage or when they're in front of people because they think that it means failure for some reason. They think that by pausing, they're showing that they are forgetting what they want to say and that they don't appear confident, when it's actually the opposite. When you're able to pause and seem cool and collected on stage, you're going to appear more confident. And even in those occasions where you mess up and you need to pause to recover, people don't really notice it unless you bring attention to it. If you just pause for a second or two, people are going to think that it's a part of the presentation. Also, pausing can help you decrease those filler words that you may want to use in place of silence.
The second one, slow your breathing. Make sure it's deep, trigger that relaxation response. This is about your nervous system speaking to your brain and telling you that you're in a safe situation.
Okay, the second tip, I'm also giving it 5 stars. When you are speaking, it is definitely good to slow down your breath. You want to take nice, deep breaths in and out, and that is going to help you slow your heart rate and hopefully decrease the amount of anxiety and stress that you may be under. If you follow my channel, then you already know that I am all about deep breathing whenever you feel anxious or nervous.
Another thing that people do when they get nervous speaking is they start to collapse. They start to touch their arms and touch their faces and their necks. They get what we call penguin arms, where they pin their upper arms to their bodies because they're afraid.
Okay, now this one isn't necessarily a tip, but I just have to say that I completely relate to this. When I was speaking very early on, I always noticed that my arms would come in like this. Now, I didn't call it penguin arms. Instead, I called it T-Rex mode because honestly, that's how my hands would look. So I definitely relate to this one. Let's see what she has in terms of advice.
Hold something. Have a slide advancer. Hold it away from your body. Carry a water bottle.
Okay, this one I don't really like. I'm gonna have to give this 1 star and suggest that you not do this. Let's pretend that you actually follow Amy Cuddy's advice and you decide that you're going to hold your clicker or hold a bottle of water or just hold something. What's going to happen is that you're going to have this object in your hand and it's going to become a distraction, especially if it's colorful like this. Now, this is just a hypothesis, but I believe that people like to hold things in their hands while speaking because it gives them a sense of a weapon in their hands that they can use against the monster that is the audience. So while you're holding this, your body is basically thinking that you're holding this. The best piece of advice that I ever received for my speaking was just simply to put my arms at my side. Now, this may feel like an unnatural position, and that can be a good thing because your body is going to want your hands to come back up. So you're more likely to use them naturally as a gesture. And if putting both of your arms is too much for you at the beginning, simply put one down and keep the other one up to gesture and try to interchange them every so often. But that's just a temporary fix. Eventually, you should try to let go of that crutch too. But I strongly suggest that you not hold something in your hands just so that you feel better while you're speaking.
Don't let the primitive fight or flight part of your brain take over. You are not going to be very good at telling yourself to calm down. We're very, very bad at doing that, but your body can calm you down.
Okay, again, this one isn't directly advice, but I just have to give this statement 5 out of 5 stars. Telling yourself to calm down is not going to help you calm down. Ironically, all it's going to do is make you focus on how not calm you are. So instead of trying to use your words or your mind to calm yourself down, use your body and your physiological state so that you can physically calm yourself down through deep breathing and through body movement. All in all, this was excellent advice from Amy Cuddy. Except for that one piece of advice she gave, do not do that. However, if you still want to do that, you can do it because at the end of the day, I am not your dad. And if you want to use this advice or somebody else's advice, make sure that it just works for you.